Box here. So we got a next-gen trailer info. Gonna give my thoughts on that info and everything. But let's look at the trailer first. I'm gonna show it without any comments. Then we'll maybe go down and break it down. And then we'll get into the gridiron notes. So it's gonna be a long video today with our opinions on everything. I hope you guys are popped in with your popcorn and sit down because it's gonna be a one. All right, let me get off screen and play the trailer for y'all.
Welcome to the most realistic NFL simulation ever. It begins with next-gen player movement powered by NFL next-gen stats. RFID tags in NFL players' shoulder pads chart their every move within inches. And this information now drives all animation in Madden, delivering unique acceleration rates, directional changes, and movement for all players on the field. You'll feel the explosion of Michael Thomas in and out of his breaks, the elite acceleration and blow-by ability of Henry Ruggs, and the raw athleticism of Dalvin Cook, feeling dangerous on every touch. Defensively, players will move and position themselves based on their next-gen stats data. Elite defenders will react authentically to make plays on the ball and take unique angles when chasing down ball carriers. Next-gen player movement delivers realistic and smooth simulation gameplay based on actual NFL player data. Thanks to next-gen stats, you can only experience this in Madden. Throughout each game, key moments trigger next-gen stats replays, giving you an analytical breakdown of the play. Over 15 specific data points tracked on every down give you the information you need to make strategic decisions and optimize your gameplay. To help create these highlight moments, play calling is now more intuitive and accessible. You can easily call plays to get the ball in the hands of your star players. You can save your favorite plays to find quickly when the perfect moment arises. The next generation of Madden is here, and it's never felt so real. Feel game day in Madden NFL 21.
All right, so the trailer. I was thinking about breaking it down frame by frame, but a lot of this stuff is also represented in the gridiron notes. So like the RFID stuff, and all this is all gameplay, right? There's gonna be no MUT stuff in here. So if you look for MUT info, you're not getting it. This is all gameplay next gen. So I think I'll go back and forth between the trailer and the live stream that they had between all these screens to give my thoughts on each stuff. It's hard to know where to start, but obviously, the big focus is on player movement. And so many people are like, oh my God, it's the same game year to year. It's like, obviously, you can only change so much in football, right? Like, do you want rugby next year? Like, how is Madden 22 going to be different than Madden 21 because it's representing the NFL? So, and the thing about, like, all right, not to suck off EA too much here, because you know how much I hate that, at least a salty taste in my mouth. The player movement over the last 2 years is something they've done right, okay? They've done things wrong, but like player movement is the one thing I'm like, okay, you're getting good at that. You're like, go back and play Madden 16 like I have, and then you compare like, wow, this is actually really clunky. This is actually a lot slower. Like Madden, what was it, 18 or 19 with the one cut when they implemented that? I think it was 18 when they implemented it, and 19 was also a little clunky. And then like you go play 20, like, wow, actually, you know, a lot better, a lot smoother. 21, I felt like take a little step back from 20 with the change of direction edition, but we'll see when guys get 99 change of direction. So, player movement, right? On the field movement, how players react to each other, literally the game of football, okay, is what they're improving. Improving, I can't speak. So, that I do have faith that they're gonna do a lot better. So, it's nice, right? And they talked about the route runs being different. Oh, wait. I got to get my advertising in here. Here's, before we go into route runs and the difference between next gen and last gen, take a look at our sponsor for the video. Rock Bottom Coins is the #1 place to get your Madden 21 coins. If you make coins for my videos, sell them to Rock Bottom. If you're buying, use my code GUTBOX for 15% off. Sorry, I forgot on this morning's video, so I got to get in there. So, this is the morning video. So the green line is this generation, this next gen line, and the robotic straight up and out is the previous gen, right? So like players, and the coolest thing that I heard here are gonna be individual. I know a lot of comp guys are going to be like, what? No consistency in routes being run? I don't care, dude. I want these things to be individuals. I want these guys to be individuals because you can always just use the same card, right? If you want consistency, just get one card and just stay with it. Now, like, what is this going to say with legend cards? Are they going to have this standard route? Are they going to be dipped into, like, they mentioned specifically Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill. So, like, there's going to be receivers with these unique routes, and they're going to run it a little differently, and, like, some might be glitchier than others, which is kind of cool. You'll be like, oh, wait, wow, this 86 overall Hill's actually glitchy because he runs a deep cross a lot better than, say, my Adams, which makes sense, even though my Adams maybe is a 91, 92. So, like, I really like that players are becoming individualistic. That's, like, what we've wanted from Madden for years. We don't just want, like, one guy and his stats are basically the same. Once they hit the threshold, they're all the same, right? We see that problem a lot in MUT this year and in previous gen. Like, they run the same routes over and over depending if they hit threshold, right? 90 medium route running or however depth it is. Deep route running, other routes like post Z's, and they run it differently. So, I'm here for it. Now, with these rounded routes, traditionally in Madden, sometimes these rounded routes, sorry, I'm getting a spam call. These rounded routes won't get much separation. We'll talk on DB breaks and stuff in a little bit, but I'm here for it. That's super exciting that guys are going to be individual. Like, we have this, like, last few years with quarterback throw motion, and they were more individualist. Like, Rodgers had that really zooming throw motion last year, and this year, then Favre got the Rodgers motion. So, like, the biggest question I have, right, is how they're going to incorporate legends into this. How are they going to individualize legends on next gen? Are they just going to be like, screw it, give them a generic one? Because I want them to keep improving on it, right? I want them to keep doing this more and more and adding more. Like, hey, this is what Crazy Legs Hirsch looked like. And then, like, he's, like, flapping his legs out as he's running his route running the ball or whatever it is. So, that's kind of what I'm excited for, is the individuality in each player. And obviously, you can tell they tailor a lot of this game into the gameplay team, is into regs. That's all they talk about. They don't really talk about legends as much, which, you know, I don't know. I think the gameplay team plays mostly regs and not too much into MUT, which is frustrating for MUT main players like us. So, it is what it is. Next up, after the player movement, you guys heard what next gen stats was in the trailer, so I'm not really going to that with RFID tag placed in players' shoulder pads and tracked in the stadiums. Next gen player movement. Oh yeah, the ball carrier. So, like, player archetypes introduced in 21. They've added more content to newest each unique archetype next gen tech, so they'll remove field media more differently on the sticks. For example, big bruising ball carrier run with heavier weight and produce more tackle outcomes where it gains extra yards, with small agile will change direction, fits usually avoid tackles. Like, and the thing is, like, what does agile small do? That, like, won't it just be his agility score? Will agile? I think what I've seen, okay, and this is what I've seen, what I've tested. Guys will stop quicker if they're, like, agile small than, like, bruiser heavy, right? If you let go of the stick, like, I don't know if you guys do stop and goes a lot or not, but, like, agile smalls will stop, like, within a couple yards. Bruiser will take a little bit longer to decelerate. So that's definitely something I've noticed. But, like, side to side should just be the agility and change of direction button, or stats for these kind of cards. So, like, I don't know. The ball carrier, we'll see, I guess, how much they go with the archetype and how big they are and their size and weight versus the stats. Because, like, what do stats mean in a lot of this stuff? Like, what will route running stat mean if, like, Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas are locked into their very specific routes? Yeah, so 50. I want to show you Adams specific routes. It was like 54. I wrote down 54. Okay, so here it is actually on the field here. So what will this mean? Like, what if Devontae Adams gets upgraded, like, either in regs? Sorry, you can see that current gen on the left and next gen on the right. What will their routes look like? I guess I could smallen this up. I guess I gotta make it even smaller. That's what she said. So I can fit the whole thing on there. But anyways, you see how, like, he's much more fluid with his route versus, like, robotic stop and go? That's kind of what they're talking about. So what if Adams, like, what will happen when he gets different stats? So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of, like, say that, or maybe they'll just ignore that whole thing. We're like, oh, we're just not going to answer that question because we don't know the answer ourselves, which is a lot of times what we've heard out of the Madden crew is, like, we actually don't know the answer to that stat versus anything question. So these are some of the questions that I'm coming with right away. Yeah, we were out route running before, after, next-gen stats, and defense. All right. Next-gen player movement doesn't just benefit the offense. We also analyze next-gen stats data for defensive players in terms of speed, facing direction, and acceleration. Good, because, like, you know, if you fix one, you should do the counter side too. This data's allowed our animation engine to provide an appropriate content to make defenders who are backpedaling and strafing much more natural looking and athletic. In coverage, players will react and break on balls more consistently and predictably. Now, like, hopefully it's like obviously by stats, right? They got to do it by stats. Let me finish the paragraph before I go on to my thoughts. Next gen stats also brought improvements in AI pursuit. Thank God they fixed pursuit. That's awful. So huge thing right there. It's just like a one-off line, and this is like major implications for online Madden and just Madden in general for like run defense, chasing guys down the field. So that when AI control defenders are pursuing a ball carrier, they will now get in better position to make a play or be better position for time they click on for the user to make the play. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so this right here. A lot of animations provide appropriate context, backpedaling, strafing, more natural looking and athletic. Players will react and break on balls more consistently and predictably. Like, it's got to be based on stats, right? Obviously. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I hope they don't make it like threshold breaks. I hope they do make it like, if you have like a 91, you break at like, this 100th of a second after the ball is thrown. 92 is like this number, and then this number, and this number. Like, I hope it's not just like, all right, once you hit 91 again, like 18, you're going to break consistently. I like the word consistent in a lot of things, but like when we're talking about like players on the fields and there's literally stats that determine how they break, like consistently based off the number and less thresholds is hopefully what we see in next gen for that kind of consistent break. I guess we'll see. We'll see. And I just don't want guys with the eyes. Like, biggest problem in Madden, a lot of times the guys just have the like eyes in the back of their head and they'll break without the ball without even looking at it. Like, they'll be in man coverage on a guy running backwards. You'll throw a corner route behind him. He'll break because, the game told him to break and not because he was looking at the ball. Lastly, but just important for defense on the ball, is next level tech for tackling. We built a new tackle prediction anticipation technology called Rally. Not only will we be able to start tackles interactions easier, but you'll see more variety in tackles, improve visual quality in terms of tackle prep and anticipation, and more authentic interactions during impact moments. All right, so this is kind of nice, right? The issue with the rally, and sometimes when they break down, the ball carrier goes up to him and swerves around him in this gen. Like, I'm not going to make a judgment about anything before I actually use it on the field, right? I like the words, and that's all I'll say about that. Because they've promised, tackling improvements like almost every year. Same with player movements, but like player movement changes have worked. Tackle improvements, we still get warp tackles this year. Guys still like defend the AIs, like just like sit there, like they get their prep and then they watch the guy run around. I'm like, I guess I should have tried. And they're just like frustrated at it. So we'll wait. Next gen stats powered replays. All right, now I'm not so into replays, but this is really cool, right? I'm not gonna watch any replays ever. Let me go to them. 57. I could have showed some defense here. I don't know if you guys wanted to see some defense plays. We kind of saw it during the move smoothly and naturally at backpedaling. I don't know if you guys want to see this. Tackle anticipation technology. We just went through that. All right. It's 57. All right. So next gen stats powered replays. So I like this, right? Makes it realistic. Makes them make the field realistic. Oftentimes, like, I feel like sometimes in the past few years I thought, are these players too big for the field? Now, if they match them up specifically on miles per hour with next-gen stats and replays, it's going to be hard to mess up the player size in the field. We'll see what they look like in next-gen. Like this right here, so cool, right? I love this. I hope to never see this in MUT because I just skipped the stuff, but it is cool that they added it, right? This is for like more sim type of players. And obviously, I'm not a sim type of player, but I still think that's awesome that they're getting stuff. Right? So cool. I'm not gonna break that down too much. You guys saw it kind of during the you literally just saw it. Primary next gen stat replay triggers, air distance, rushing distance, ball carrier speed, tackle length, time to sack. Secondary, yak, time to throw, time behind line of scrimmage. Time to throw is really interesting. That'd be kind of cool if they did not just like time to throw, how long it takes to get out of your hand, but like I guess we could better see quarterback throw motions on those replays and how quickly they're getting it out at different distances. I mean, here's the thing. I am an information slut, okay? I love information and data and getting it to me and seeing this stuff, as you guys seen from the channel with me doing all those breakdowns and whatnot. So more information from EA is great. Stat tracking, great. Next gen play calling, meh. Right? By player, like this is kind of where I feel like they like do a lot with like regs and stuff they care about more. Like it's cool that they're focusing on this, but I don't really care, right? Because like, what if you do like they talk about Tyreek Hill? I know in their breakdown a little bit about focusing on what if I like put him in a different position on the depth chart or formation sub him? Will they give me Tyreek Hill but like on a different position? Will they give me would a different play pop up if I put Tyreek Hill in a different position on my field? I don't know. In that one specific formation. In addition to the enhancements described above, you'll also be able to see your superstar X Factor abilities and stats for the current game, all right at the play call screen. All right, so they had double tap, add, remove, favorite play. So they have favorite plays and stuff that you can add. I'll get to that in a second. Tempo is like, hurry up, no huddle, that kind of stuff. Back, super sim, flip play, coach adjustments. Pretty good stuff. We'll see. It looks like it's a little bit of a change from our more vertically focused play calling screen. So they'll just be need to learn it. Because next-gen player movement has had a significant impact on the pace of play in Madden, here's some other gameplay improvements come along with the new gameplay system. Pass lead. Next-gen stats player movement open the ability to lead receivers on deep routes more effectively. I can't tell you the number of times I'm like, all right, now lob it up 25 yards to the left because I've beaten the deep safety on the left, but I haven't beaten the guy in the middle, so I want to lead it away from the guy in the middle. Like, IRL quarterbacks can do that, and wide receivers can adjust to it mid-play. Madden, you can pass it by like 10 yards, so I really think this is a good change. Nice work right there. Run game. It's easy to read running game buffs. We'll see how pursuit does and how D linemen push. But yeah, run game buff. Easier to read running lanes. Like, I don't know what easier to read means. Running lanes are cool because those things form naturally IRL and unnaturally in game sometimes. Easier to read. It's kind of like, what do you mean easier to read? Like they open wider? I don't like that at all. Right? Running lanes should just be running lanes. But I guess we'll see what that means. Easier to read. Like then I could just like give you like a big old like red arrow, like a fucking YouTube thumbnail, and be like, go, 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 cut back and stretch here. QB movement in and out of the pocket is smooth and athletic. You also feel differentiation movement all over the field when comparing pocket passes to mobile quarterbacks. I love it, right? I love it, I love it, I love it. Too much behind the line of scrimmage. Mobile quarterbacks without escape artist are god awful, right? Obviously, we've been in a mobile quarterback meta for 20 plus years in Madden, or probably all the way back to 04, I guess. We'll say 16 years. I don't remember the games too much before that. 03 was a long time ago. I played it, but I don't remember the 03 meta at all. I just remember when Vic came, and it became a completely different game. This year was the first year that I ever remember where pocket passes are meta. Maybe you could argue. I didn't play online. Was it 08 with the vision cone? But like Manning had that large one. So pocket passers, they won't move well. Hopefully they keep gunslingers as effective as it is though. Head tracking is just head movement, looking at players more realistically. Cool. Tackling. Talked about the rally tech. We also improved gang tackles. Nice. Tackle gang. Tackle gang. Not as fun as Gucci gang. They'll trigger much more often, right? Is it one of the most frustrating things is like you got your user next to the guy getting tackled and he's struggling forward. I'm like, take his head off! And they don't. Or what do I go in there and strip it, right? They probably want to allow that in Madden because there's no like counterplay for the offense to not get stripped. I guess hitting RB would be the counterplay. If defense hits RB as a second tackler, offense has to hit RB. And that would make a good play counterplay. Defensive users can now interact with gang tackles. Good. Glad to hear it. Good improvement. Improved pass rush timing. I don't know. Kralo even said it's kind of crazy. Kralo's like, I definitely noticed some next-gen sacks. I just hope EA looked at the right stat when they looked at average time in the pocket. I hope they look at average time in the pocket versus average time to throw, right? Average time before sack is like over 4 seconds. Average time to throw is like 3 seconds, right? Because they average out those quick releases, those bubble screens and jet sweeps. So average time to throw is always going to be less than average time to sack. Average time to sack, you should have 4.5 to 5 seconds in the pocket. You should have 6 seconds against a 3-man rush. Fuck 3-man rushes in this game. I hate that drop bait shit. That's meta. Blazing fast load times. Okay, we've already seen that stuff. And then that's the game, right? I may have missed something. Let me look back at the trailer. I don't know. I'm excited for it, right? Like I said earlier in the video, there's only so much you can do to football every year. And basically redesigning the movement system and wide receiver routes. It's a good stuff. Now, I'll be in, like, there's a lot of things that I've said that I'm like, hey, you know what? Where's our scramble drill, right? Can you make scramble drill more realistic? Can you guys find green grass and high tides, right? I don't want my downfield blockers, my, like there's always more work to be done in this game, right? I don't want my downfield blockers like on a kickoff return. I don't want my guy, if I take kickoff left, I don't want my far left blocker just running out of bounds randomly, not doing anything, right? Same thing with wide receiver downfield blocking. Like, you ever break out of a play and then they just kind of like jogging, doing nothing? I mean, sometimes that's realistic, but like oftentimes that's not. They will oftentimes do something at least in real life to make it look like they're trying. Even if they don't really contact anybody, at least they look like they're trying. And like, same thing, defense scramble drill, offense scramble drill, especially if they improved the quarterback locomotion. That'd be great to fix up. But overall, like, I'm excited for it. It's coming on the 4th. We'll see what's all changed. Obviously, graphics are nowhere near 2K. But, like, 2K, I just downloaded it. So I'm going to try it out. But, like, I know last gen 2K, I wasn't a huge fan of it when I played it last year. I didn't buy it this year on, the PS4 or Xbox One. But I just bought it for PS5. So I'll test it out. But, like, this gameplay is fun, right? Like, nobody's gonna go to Among Us and be like, wow, these graphics are horrible. This isn't a fun game. Right? So what these next gen like graphics don't wow me, I don't really care that much. Like, they're close. And they do need to fix gameplay first before graphics. So like, obviously they work on a little bit every year. We'll see what they end up changing. It's like this trailer, I don't notice anything difference between this trailer and like Madden 21 and Madden 20's trailer, right? If you asked me to pick out the difference, I'd be like Pam, like do the same picture. So I don't know. I think it's cool. The player movement, the individuality of wide receivers, individuality of like they even mentioned specific running backs. I think it was Delvin or Elvin. I forgot who mentioned Elvin and the Chipmunks. Delvin, I think he was one of them too, right? Along with Eeyore. So that's my thoughts. I'm hyped. I'm excited. Football, players change, but we'll see what it means for legends and generic players. And I really hope it's not just players by archetype. I hope they go more in depth there. I hope it's not just these different ones. And I hope it's actually individualistic. So that way, like, one guy comes into the game and we're like, whoa. Like, right, they bring in a Jerry Rice, and Rice runs a very unique route, and it like gets separation against man coverage. Even though he's not fast, he should have unique man coverage beating skills, zone coverage. He should sit between them, be smarter. But that's not consistent. I don't know. What else did I miss? Oh yeah, favorite plays. Sorry, when we were talking about saving favorite plays and stuff, where was it? Play calling. So like there's a save favorite play that you can go back to later, and it's based off your profile. So if you get another book, it saves. Custom audibles. Why don't we have custom audibles yet? Why can't I save that between games? Right? What about like going out on the field with like a cover 3 buzz press? I should be able to make a change, and then it goes to a favorite formation set of mine, right? I want to make a change and have this Mabel coverage. I want to go double Mabels, defensive tackle, in a spy or something, and then I can use whoever I want, right? Like custom zone changes. What about custom hot routes on the field? I come out and play, and then I had to make the same 3 hot routes I do every time. Can I save that? Could it just come out in the hot routes? That'd be nice. I mean, play call, create a play. I need that. That seems like a next gen feature. It was a feature 20 years ago. It was a feature 12 years ago on NFL Head Coach. Give me create a play. All right. That's some next gen stuff that I need to see, please. That's all I got to say about that. What are you guys' thoughts on next gen? Let me know. Thanks for watching Call to Action. See you later.